Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Spy. So Spy stars Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham, Rose Byrne, and Jude Law. And what this film is about Rose Byrne. She has this nuclear bomb that she's going to sell to this guy, and she knows the identity of all the spies in the place. So, and now they have to send Melissa McCarthy out onto the field because they don't have her identity. They don't know who she is. Let's just say she's not well trained. So, what did I think of Spy? This movie's absolutely funny, guys. This is the best comedy of the year so far. This movie was so funny, and I'm surprised. Now, I was interested in the movie because it's a spy movie and everything, but it seemed like just another generic Melissa McCarthy movie, and it actually was really funny. I really enjoyed it. So, let's get into my positives, and my positives are the acting in this movie. The acting's really good in this movie. You have Melissa McCarthy, who has been up and down in terms of comedy, She's been really funny, and then times they're like, yeah, please stop, But she's really funny in this, and I really enjoyed her character in this movie. There were times that she made me really laugh in the movie. I mean, there's a scene, which I'm not going to spoil, of course, but there's a scene where she's, talking to, one of Rose Byrne's, I think assistants or something like that. He had blonde hair, and she just keeps on insulting him, and it's so funny. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. That was one of the funniest scenes in the movie. And she was just funny, and I really enjoyed her in this movie. Jason Statham, holy moly, Jason Statham. This guy needs to do more comedies. He really does. This guy was so funny in this movie. I think this might be my favorite role of his. He was so funny in this movie. He's making fun of the typical action guy. He makes up all these fake, action, all these, ridiculous, over-the-top stories, and it's just hilarious, I just loved him in this movie. He was just so great, Like I said, needs to do more comedy. He was so funny in this movie. So, yeah. Rose Byrne was good as a villain. I did enjoy her character, She was a real mean one, but her character was good in this movie. And Jude Law was really good as well, So, yeah. So, the acting in this movie is really good. I did like the acting. The comedy is motif. It is great. I love the comedy with this movie. The two funniest parts are, I'm not, like I said, not going to spoil. I'm just going to say Melissa McCarthy's looking through photos, and Melissa McCarthy's giving some insults. That's all I'm going to say. Those are two of the funniest scenes in the movie. I couldn't stop laughing. Those were two of the funniest scenes in the movie. And the comedy worked in this movie. It wasn't well, we'll get more into that afterwards, but, it just was great. I loved the comedy with this movie. The action was great with this movie, This felt like an action movie, felt like a straight-up action movie at times. It didn't even feel like a comedy at times, and that's not a bad thing, As long as the action's great, and the action was fantastic in this movie. I loved the action with this movie. That opening scene with Jude Law was great. I loved the action in this movie, so yeah. The action was great, the writing was great. I love the writing with this movie. The directing with this movie. I love the directing with this movie. It's directed by Paul Feig. And surprisingly, actually, this is my first movie from Paul Feig. And I think he did a great job. He did a great job directing this movie. So yeah, the pacing was pretty good. I did think it flowed well. It flowed well. And I thought the pacing was pretty good with this movie. So yeah. I do have two negatives with this movie, And my first negative is there were some of the jokes that I thought were forced and were really there were jokes that just didn't work for me at times, and it was only a few times. It wasn't throughout the entire movie, It was only a few times here and there where I thought, yeah, that could have worked better. So yeah. And my last negative is it takes a while for the comedy to start. It's mostly a straight up action movie for the first 30 minutes, to me at least. None of the comedy really worked until we're 30 minutes in. At least the action and stuff, like, and the spy stuff still at least kept me interested and I liked it, so yeah. But yeah, Spy's a great comedy, guys. Really, check this movie out. I really enjoyed Spy, so yeah. So I'm going to give my official grade on Spy, and my official grade on Spy is an A-. I love this movie. This movie was so funny. I really enjoyed it. I say go check it out. I'm giving it an A-. So what do you guys think of Spy? Leave in the comment section below. I'm WWE Fan 0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.